The first issue is biodiversity. It is believed that we are facing the start of the sixth greatest extinction of plants and animals. Our ever-growing population affects environments necessary for certain species. The loss or altering of those environments jeopardizes certain species' survival. The rainforest is the most glaring example of this. Rainforests house 50% of the Earth's species, and it used to take up 14% of the Earth's surface, but now has dwindled to 5%. To break this down even further, a typical patch of rainforest contains 750 species of trees, 750 species of other plants, 125 species of mammals, 400 species of birds, 100 species of reptiles, and 60 species of amphibians. That is in one patch of land. If that doesn't show enough importance, then maybe this will. Rainforests don't just house 50% of the world's species, they also affect our world's climate and chemistry and ecology of the ocean. Rainforests consume huge amounts of CO2, which, as I'll describe later, is essential for the slowing of global warming. Not to mention all the oxygen that rainforests produce, which is essential for obvious reasons. In my opinion, the only people who could ever support the destruction of rainforests are those who are not educated on all that they do for us. But people need to know, and they need to know if the destruction of rainforests continues, then 25 of the Earth's species will become extinct. That's not to say that there aren't people fighting for the species. The Endangered Species Act is a leader in the protection of species worldwide. As you can see on this slide, they have maintained 16.4 million square miles of protected land and 3,500 parks and preserves. The next parks and preserves. I wrote some endangered species up here that include cheetah, whale, giant panda, and tiger, which are pretty exotic, and obviously we wouldn't want them to become extinct. Next slide, please. Number 2, the second issue that they identified is water. According to the book, by 2025, 2/3 of the people of the world will experience acute water shortages. The third issue is energy. The U.S. is responsible for around 25% of the world's total energy consumption, including 1 million gallons of oil every 2 minutes, which is no wonder why the prices are rising. The fourth issue is food. According to the book, an estimated 1 in 6 people in the world suffer from hunger and malnutrition. According to the UN Food Agriculture Organization, 852 million people go hungry every day, and 5 million children die from hunger every year. Pollution is next. Pollution is everywhere. Pollutants make their way into our air, water, wildlife, and food supply. And the sixth issue was identified as the world's greatest environmental struggle, and that struggle is climate change. Next slide, please. Like most, when I hear climate change, I think global warming. It seems like every day the concern for global warming grows. The term is thrown around a lot, but what exactly is global warming? According to the book, global warming is caused from gases in the atmosphere that prevent sunlight from being reflected away from the Earth. You see, usually sunlight that reaches the surface of the Earth is partly absorbed and reflected. The absorbed light heats the surface and is later released as infrared radiation. That brings me to another term, greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are gases that are not released, thus collecting the heat and keeping it in the atmosphere. A continued increase in greenhouse gases could cause environmental disorder in warming patterns, weather patterns, and sea level. Look at the weather this year. It's already happening. Global warming isn't something that should be ignored. The Earth's surface temperature has risen 1 degree in the past century, and I know what you're thinking, that's 1 degree over a very long period of time. But to put it in perspective, the Earth's surface temperature has only risen 9 degrees since the Ice Age. Honestly, I could go on forever about global warming, but I think we should move on. I'd now like to talk about economics and ecology. Next slide, please. I'm going to pause here.